LightingESL.com, Part 5. Part 5 of Public Speaking. Now, today we're going to talk about visual aids. Visual aids. Obviously, we all know this before. People learn different ways. Hearing something, seeing something, and also feeling something, touching something, reading about something. When it comes to public speaking, it's in the public. People are seeing you, not just hearing you. They see every action you do, every posture, every move you make, every sound you make. Visual aids is the most important type of use when it comes to things using for public speaking. So visual aids, what does it mean? What are they? Not just PowerPoint. Visual aid could be anything beside you, on you, when you're doing a public speech. Anything. That's right. A chair, a lamp, a piece of furniture, PowerPoint presentation, slides, an article of clothing, doesn't matter. It's still a visual aid. That's what they mean by saying, are they? What are they? All kinds of things. Why do we use them? People associate a certain framework of reference using visual aids. That's why we use visual aids. All right? Now, what effect do they have? Well, I can remember what they said related to your speech, not remember what you said related to your speech. What are they for? Well, the idea is to contribute some type of thing to understanding of what you're talking about. It enhances the presentation. Using the presenter, in other words, it's better received this way. You associate this with this using a visual aid. They become more motivated to listen. People want to see different things in front of you, beside you, or around you to motivate that particular speech. Is it information speech? Is it persuasion speech? We'll talk about this later. These are all part of visual aids. Now, there's different dimensions of visual aids. They have to suit your topic. They have to be related, not just all over the place. Any visual aid you use has to be related to your topic, so it makes sense. I'm showing you this to demonstrate this, or inform you about that, or persuade you about this. See what I mean? Your visual aid has to be totally related to your public speech. All right? Avoid clutter of any kind. Too much visual aids, for example. Let's say you're showing many graphs and pictures and so on. I've had students, for example, who did visual aids of all kinds. Example, I had one student years ago at a community college here in Toronto. His project or speech was all about shoes, going back hundreds of years of shoes. So what did he do? He had slide after slide after slide of many pictures of shoes. He had actually 64 slides. And I said, enough is enough. It's a killjoy, too much. But there's an example of using too many things to demonstrate one idea. All right? Don't clutter the situation. Don't clutter the use of visual aids. All right? Be consistent, but understandable, and it has to be a certain level of understanding. So don't clutter the idea of using so many visual aids, so many PowerPoint slides. People will literally fall asleep. All right? It has to be clear, uncluttered, and large enough for everybody to see in the entire audience. Not just the people in the front row, but the back row people also have to see this and understand what that visual aid is for. All right? So don't make it such a small little thing nobody can understand what you're doing. It has to be big enough so everybody in the room understands clearly and sees it clearly in the room. All right? It has to be attractive. Sometimes color is magic. If everything's in black, everything's in red or one color, people don't notice it after a while. It looks the same, like a whole curtain of things. So be attractive if you can in your colors of visual aids, all right? And again, it has to be relative to the topic. Now, obviously there's a main purpose of a visual aid. Why do we do it? You could just stand there, look pretty or handsome, that's it. You can't. You don't have to use a visual aid. You are a visual aid. Remember that. You are a visual aid as well. How you talk, your tone of voice, we'll talk about later in other lessons. It's extremely important. Your posture. What do you do with your hands? What do you do? This is all part of visual aids. It has to impact the audience for a reason. You're doing this for a reason, not just for fun. It's for a reason, all right? You're emphasizing a certain point that you believe this or this about a certain topic, all right? You're trying to stimulate the audience's imagination. Think about this as you go through your speech. This is all part of your visual aid, all right? You're explaining maybe new concepts. Think about this. Opening up imagination, creativity in the audience. They're questioning different things, but that's good. It gets them thinking, concentrating on your topic. Again, this is the purpose of visual aids. You're reinforcing your speech by using different visual aids. I'm talking about this, here's a demonstration. I'm talking about this, here's a visual aid, all right? Content, remember, is everything in a visual aid. It's everything, all right? We talked about before knowing your audience by audience analysis in the previous lesson. Once you understand that, remember how your audience listens to you. Are they carefully listening to you? Are they falling asleep because you have too much PowerPoint? Too much visual aids? It's like a blur sometimes. So be very careful how much visual aids you're using. There's all kinds, like I mentioned before. A sound, an object, a feeling, a smell. All could be visual aids. That's how important. Remember, just like an interview, first impressions of the visual aid is everything. Do they understand what it's for? Why are we using this? Why is he using that? This is all part of the purpose of visual aids. All right? So the key is to set the tone of your speech very early in your presentation using this visual aid. Do you have to show it at first when you walk out towards the speech of your audience? No. You can do it halfway through or slowly introduce that visual aid. Again, it depends on the topic, depends on the audience. That's why audience analysis, like I mentioned before, is so important. All right? The flow of the speech should be relaxed and conversational using your visual aid. I'm demonstrating this, I'm showing this visual aid to tell you about this, inform you about this, persuade you about that, or demonstrating about this. All right? So visual aids, like I mentioned before, come in all shapes and sizes. Any questions, any inquiries, you're welcome to contact me at lightning@rogers.com or through my website, lightningasl.com. So now you know the importance of visual aids. You don't have to use a visual aid. You are a visual aid as well. Don't forget that. You could be a visual aid also. Anything you see around you is a visual aid. What you're wearing, any object on stage, or any object you're using beside you is still called a visual aid. All right? So thank you very much for your time. This is lightningasl.com. Thank you.